Hello, everyone. Welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, a blue dot and a red state, utilizing tarot to offer insight into these very interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. The focus of today's reading is going to be Scotland. And the people of Scotland understood the assignment. Oh my gosh. I mean, from the front page of, like, what was it? Scotland welcomes a felon, not president of the United States, but a felon. And then did you see the press conference where when Trump was asked a question, whenever he was answering, the Scottish people protested his answers in a way that only the Scottish people can do by playing the bagpipes. Oh my God. That made my day. I was like, and they were really good and they were really loud. So love that for Trump so much. And then there was video of in Scotland, they have these little flies, they're called midges, and so they were just like swarming him, and he's out there, like you can't see anything because they're like these little itty bitty tiny things, and he's just swatting away, looking like he's just waving at air. No one else. There was like one, two, three, maybe four other people like standing in close proximity. The midges weren't bothering them, and so it's kind of like in the United States, like flies to shit. Apparently midges have that exact same philosophy in Scotland. So yes, this was going to be kind of a fun reading. I am going to ask though that so part of this was not only just making fun of Trump, but he opened a new golf course there. That's why he was there. And then he got caught cheating. Shocking. You can imagine my shocked face. It was like, and of course he cheated. It was like, and he was saying, oh no, the caddy was just moving the ball. It's like, that's called cheating. But you can see where he like reaches into the caddy, reaches into his pocket, pulls a golf ball out and drops it, closer for Trump, and it's like, of course he cheated. And then I actually do want to look at, he's hoping to have, some tariff deal announced or whatever. He's got the EU one. It went from 30% tariffs to I think 15%, and so I'm curious if he's going to be able to make that same deal with the UK. So with that, as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. I want to do I just want to do base reading into what did Trump think of how he was welcomed in Scotland. What did he think? How's he feeling about his little Scottish trip? People from Scotland are just... And then the list of, I've seen the signs. Have you seen the signs? Oh, geez, they're hysterical. I'm like, I don't understand what half of this means, but it's funny. Okay, so how does Trump feel about his welcome? The Justice card, he was there kind of like he's trying not to let it bother him. He's like, I am here for business. I am here to work the deal. I am here, as the leader and, like trying to be that, he wants there were even talks about like the Nobel Peace Prize. So that's what he thinks he's doing this, that he's all great and wonderful. But the challenge is the people of Scotland don't really feel the same. This is partnerships. These are agreements. In the negative or lower energy, think of, just go look at all those protest signs. That pretty much summarizes like a lower energy here. Not the signs and not the protesting, but like the challenge of Trump having a good time was going to be the protesters. That's what I'm going with that. The challenge were the protesters. And they see him as just a fool. That really is like he is out there playing at being king. Knight of Wands. And I also was like, what did Trump think of this? And so, he's out there playing at being, a dictator. The Foundation Knight of Wands, he really thought he was going to go in there and he was going to make this deal and be, the Knights are changes, messaging. This would be agreements. This would be like tariffs. Like that type of tariff type. Sign agreement signed. Like that kind of is what I'm feeling with this. But he didn't get it done. Okay, he's not. And Knights, he really thought that he was just going to go over there. Okay, what I'm feeling with this is both of these, what I'm feeling is like he's going to a country where they have a vast history of, royalty and kings and, the aristocracy, like all of that. They have a rich history. And he's going over there as a wannabe dictator. You know, and they're like that. They see straight through this. They are not impressed with him. And so from Trump's point of view, does he, I'm curious, does he know he was, does he really realize that he's being laughed at? Because he's trying to make it be like that justice card is like, he thinks that he's this, great leader, and you've got the protesters there like, no, you're not. So does he realize that he's the laughing stock of, the world, and especially Scotland? The fighting, the victory, he's ignoring it. He thinks he's going to have victory. He's going to decide, he's going to come out with this great trade deal, and it's like he is totally oblivious to, the people of Scotland. And I think part of this, like, he just doesn't care. He doesn't care about, the U.S. citizens. Why would he care about, the Scottish, people? And then did you see Starmer whenever that bagpipe was playing? You could tell it took everything he had to keep from laughing. And I noticed that they didn't escort the bagpiper off grounds. So Trump does not realize that he's a laughing stock, that people see him as he's playing at being a leader. So is he going to get that, the tariff deal? Is he going to get that deal that he wants? He's so thirsty for it. Is he going to get that deal? Major transformation. I don't know that they're going to let him have that quite as quick. Nope. It's like he thought he was good, Mad King Don Old, and that everybody just loves him. In fact, that's probably what he's going to be telling his supporters whenever he gets, it was this people for, you can just hear it. They're such lovely people, and talking about the golf course and, blah, blah, blah. This is the stuff this is where the juicy stuff is. Whenever I was asking, is he going to get that, tariff deal? No. Major transformation, and like they put a stop to it, they put an end to it, the betrayal and things that, this is like up in the air, murky, not giving him what he wants. And I get this feeling like the UK is like, we don't need your deals. Like that's the feeling I'm getting. Like they're not going to be as easy to or they're going to need something more than what the EU got. Like they're pushing for something more. The feeling I get from the EU was it was like, just shut them up. That's all it's like. And what I'm getting from the UK is like, we're not giving in. So where does this go with the talks with the still in talks? Trump almost getting like, he tries to claim victory, which he has. He's tried to claim victory, saying, oh yeah, they're just working out the details, but those details are still hidden. The truth is like, the truth of this is that there is no deal. The talks, like you get the beginnings of stuff. He plays at it, but no, they're not, they're not. With this card coming up, the Lover's card, and, like, typically before, the Epstein files started taking such a, front and center, stage here, I would see this as, like we've started, the progression, like you started the talks and now the talks have come to fruition. I'm kind of wondering if they're like playing, like, we don't want to deal with you because we know you're in the Epstein files, or there's like an Epstein file connection here. I know that there's a lot of talk about Prince Andrew in those files. So they're, I'm getting like the UK really is not wanting to, they don't want to deal with him. They don't want to talk to him. They want to move on from this. So I don't know that are they going to give him what he wants? Because I'm putting a lot of cards out here and I keep asking and I'm really not getting that they're going to give him that, happy, stable home, disappointment. They were like, the trade deal was just fine the way it is, and you came up and, fucked it up, and we want to go back to what it was, and we've got to have something more offered. I wonder if there's not, I kind of get this tweet, I wonder if it's not like some, what are these assurances? Like they want, I'm feeling like this is more like, they need more, and it's like we need more for either Ukraine, we need more for Gaza, we need the United States to be a equal partner. Like if you want to be a partner in this house, then you have to offer us something. Like if you want us to have, the 15% tariffs, fine, but okay, we need some assurances. So what are these assurances that the UK is trying to get? Talking about the future and justice. It also wouldn't surprise me about these Epstein files if this isn't like placed like a cloud over all of this, and very quickly. Okay, I am not getting any really solid answers on this. I'm getting a lot of vague. I'm getting a lot of like, I think that they have said, like Starmer has said, okay, 15%, that's fine, but we need these extra assurances. And I'm feeling like, like I was kind of seeing the some of the European countries have now started saying that they will recognize and support a Palestinian state. And then also you have the Ukrainian stuff. So I'm thinking it's like, this is telling me we need more. You may get your 15%, but we're going to get something out of that as well. That's what the holdup is there's some kind of assurances for, what, and as I said, I'm kind of like, what is it that we need assurances for? I mean, you've got climate change, you have, Iran and Israel, you have, Ukraine, you have, Gaza. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could see them saying we need, like assurances that the United States is a willing, equal partner that will stand strong, on our, with us as it pertains to, fill in the blank. As I said, I just listed a whole bunch of things. And so that's what I'm getting with this. Like they will do that, but the United States is going to have to do something more than just, swat at midges on a golf course. So yeah, that's what I'm getting with that. Very interesting reading. I thought it was going to be kind of a fun reading, and it was fun. The I'm seeing here if I had any more in my notes here. Yeah, no, just that was a fun reading, just looking at what the people of Scotland understood the assignment, and the midges understood the assignment. And I think that the Prime Minister Starmer understands the assignment. He understands that he is going to get more than just he's not going to give the United States that 15% tariff deal unless he gets something in return substantial. And it has to do with, like, as I said, I'm feeling like a more solid commitment as it relates to, list any one of those conflicts. And so that's kind of where the talks are right now. So thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I'll put another reading up here for you to check out and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a good day.